Whether audiences end up liking a movie probably comes down, more than anything, to expectations. From the Super Mario Bros. Movie to Despicable Me 4, Venom, The Last Dance, and the latest from Warner Bros., Minecraft, the movie, you keep seeing two sharply divided camps. People who pick a film apart with a cool, logical eye will easily declare it terrible on every front, but plenty of others push back. You shouldn't go hunting for lofty artistic intent in a piece of pure entertainment. So, to dig a little deeper into Minecraft, the movie, a textbook example of today's instant noodle filmmaking, let's evaluate it under two different expectation levels. The internet jokingly calls to watching mindsets, brain on and brain off. Adapted from one of the most famous games in history, the film opens with Steve, played by comedian Jack Black, confessing his deep love for mines. One day, while he's hacking away at stone, he stumbles on a cube holding the Orb of Dominance, encased in something called the Earth Crystal. When he snaps them together, a strange portal suddenly appears. Taking a gamble, he steps through that blue light and finds an entire world built out of cubes. Here, earth, rock, trees, mountain, ranges, even pandas and zombies are all blocky. You can freely interact and craft tools depending on your imagination. Steve lives in the overworld and builds an entire kingdom for himself. That is, until he accidentally discovers the gateway to the Nether, the hellscape ruled by bloodthirsty piglins. These pigmen are obsessively fixated on gold and relentlessly chase Steve to seize the Orb of Dominance. Imprisoned in the Nether, Steve asks his dog Dennis to hide the cube, and the story abruptly pivots to four other characters. Siblings Henry and Natalie, a real estate broker named Dawn, and a washed-up gamer Garrett, nicknamed The Guy. After a chain of coincidences, they also make it into the overworld, team up with Steve, and join the fight against the piglins. First off, the weakness you can spot immediately is in the very opening. For reasons unknown, from the very first beat the film rushes, compressing Steve's exploration of the overworld into a recap that crams in a ton of world-building info. It also doubles as a quick intro to the villain Magosa and the Piglin Army's motives, like a 10-minute trailer. Steve narrates who he is, and in the very next scene, he's suddenly a master builder, with zero explanation. Then, at an equally frantic clip, the movie swerves to four brand new characters who have nothing to do with our blue-shirted lead. It's not hard to see how this opening owes a lot to Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, where the player Parzival also rattles off nearly everything you need to know about the Oasis. The difference is, Parzival is a veteran. Steve, no matter how fast you fast-forward his learning, literally found the Orb of Dominance 5 minutes ago. The result is a surface-level tour of the overworld guided by someone introduced in an unconvincing way. Watching it, you're forced into two assumptions. 1. Minecraft is so easy that Steve can bop along to a song and still build a sprawling theme park out of who knows what materials he somehow acquired. Or 2. He's a prodigy player. Unfortunately, either way, the film's appeal has already taken a hit. That opening also telegraphs a core problem: the approach the writers chose to the source material. The film keeps insisting it celebrates creativity. Yet the most memorable invention is the nunchaku Garrett rigs up for laughs. Almost everything else has already been discovered by Steve before the team's adventure even starts. He just opens a chest and says, "Here's the diamond armor, here's a sword, these are villagers, that's redstone." Meanwhile, the audience, and the four newcomers, barely see any actual process of making something from scratch. I kept asking why the film didn't invest in real quests for characters starting at zero, the way millions of players meet Minecraft. That line that's gone viral, "First we mine, then we craft," never truly materializes when Steve, like a Doraemon cat, keeps handing the side characters gadgets that insta-solve problems. So this isn't about whether it's turn your brain off entertainment or high art. It's about the creative path chosen and its fallout. The Minecraft movie takes the path of least resistance, sandblasts away all challenge, coats it in humor as camouflage, assuming laughs are enough, and squanders a big chunk in the middle where characters should be learning, tinkering, and actually crafting. Think about it. How much time do these characters really spend learning the overworld, the place they just entered? And isn't the spirit of discovery the very thing that makes Minecraft special? Those shortcuts also show up in the way the film treats its Fab Four, the chosen team to save the world. Henry is basically a mini Steve, gifted with a genius brain and able to code his way into pro player status in no time. Sister Natalie is no slouch either. By night 2, she's casually chatting while clubbing zombies with a hoe. And then there's Dawn, whom I can't find any purpose for besides rounding out the head count. As you can see, it's the approach that causes this. When the overworld doesn't pose worthy challenges, the characters have nothing to do beyond tossing quips on an easy stroll to the finale. Then, when it wraps up, the film tries to cram in a Ready Player One style moral. Yes, the virtual world is liberating, but it's time to return to reality and deal with your problems. It's a fair message, but the way it's delivered carries no weight. Bottom line, it's not hard to spot the laziness under the hood of Minecraft. The movie, even if it's rather cleverly masked by Jack Black's performance. With a shallow world, weak script, and forgettable characters, I won't be surprised if it gets name-checked at the Razzies this year. Honestly, it deserves at least one. That was the part that may ruffle some feathers. But I think it's necessary if we're going to be honest about films like Minecraft. As promised, now let's try following the producer's lead. Dial expectations down to minimum, crank forgiveness up to maximum, and see if there's any fun to be had in the film's 1 hour and 40 minutes. First, a note about director Jared Hess. He gravitates to oddballs, if not outright goofballs. That's why his 2004 film, Napoleon Dynamite, not a personal favorite, still stuck with me. Its lead is so peculiar he becomes unforgettable. Minecraft has its weirdos too, chiefly Garrett. He's the main laugh engine, a washed-up gamer who feels like a lost member of the Fast and Furious family, all muscle and plot armor during fiery set pieces. He cracks jokes constantly, and even when they're not great, Jason Momoa's comic timing got genuine laughs out of me, and a fair number of people in my theater. This brand of silly humor actually fits these shallow characters, letting you find entertainment even in the film's gaping plot holes. Maybe, as some viewers speculate, Jared Hess intentionally made a bad movie, who knows? What I do know is I laughed, and I heard others laughing too. It's dumb and meaningless, and that might be exactly where American comedic instincts are strongest. As someone who hasn't gamed much in a while, I'd be lying if I said the movie didn't trigger some nostalgia, especially with a theater half full of fans. The swords, the trees, the blocks, the houses, they look great on a big screen. The way zombies and skeletons move is lively. Sometimes you can even catch a little scowl on their faces. The film also winks at longtime players with bits like water bucketing to break a fall, grilling chicken over lava, or the overworld's 20-minute day-night cycle. They stirred up school day memories for me, and reminded me that, in the game, everyone has spent hours building some ridiculous structure. Maybe the characters are acting exactly the way we used to play? That thought, at least for me, made the film a bit more endearing. One sharp comment I read summed it up. Minecraft. The movie feels like it was made by a kid who spends all day glued to an iPad playing Minecraft. So whether you find any relaxation in it may depend on how you feel about that kid. As, for me, the fairest description is that Minecraft, the movie, is a surface-level sightseeing train through the overworld, thin on substance but rescued by nostalgic vistas and some funny fellow passengers. In the end, every viewer has the right to love or hate a movie based on their own taste and expectations. There's nothing wrong with demanding that a franchise built on creativity deliver a worthy adaptation. But we also have to admit the film's success owes a lot to being easy to watch, easy to swallow, and easy to laugh at. Minecraft is a textbook, case of polarized reception, especially since it targets younger audiences. Still, remember, the studios are fully aware of how forgiving audiences can be. If they see a big enough crowd cheering for something mid, next time Warner Brothers will greenlight scripts even worse than Minecraft. Why sweat to make something crafted when the customer keeps settling, right? We've all seen the consequences. A conveyor belt of live-action adaptations getting worse over time. And Minecraft has mined a diamond vein in the most literal sense. Lately, some US theaters have struggled with over-the-top audience reactions. I'm talking about memes baked into the film. A quick trip to YouTube shows kids and teens going wild when familiar lines and images pop up on screen. Sure, there are meaningful Easter eggs, like the tribute to YouTuber Technoblade, but this only reinforces a worrying reality. Producers have discovered that sprinkling in whatever is trending online, relevant or not, can spark huge audience approval. The viewer's role matters. I can't tell you how to watch a movie. Cinema is an art form and also comfort food for everyone. Maybe the fairest solution is to let each person decide for themselves. Those are Filmers' thoughts on Minecraft, the movie, a film that's on track to be 2025's biggest hit. If you've got opinions, drop them in the comments and let's talk. For now, goodbye and enjoy the movie.